Hi, this is Craig Colvin from CraigColvinPhotography.com, and today I'm going to be talking about what's in my bag. I pack differently depending on the trips that I am doing. For this particular trip, this is a 6-day trip in Utah with 3 models. We're going to be doing nine shoots total. A lot of time spent in the desert, so I pack differently for these sort of trips than I might do if I were going to some urban environment or that sort of thing. First, start off with my tripod. This is a Manfrotto carbon fiber tripod. I typically don't take a tripod on trips like this, but one of our shoots is going to be a night shoot, and so I need a tripod for the night shoot. Now, in the bag, we of course have our camera. I'm taking a 5D Mark III with a 24-70 f2.8 lens. I love this lens for shooting models in the rocks. I get across back far from them and able to really take some great shots with this. I love the compression I get with that lens. I'm also doing a 24-70 f2.8 lens. And then I am also this time taking a 17-40 millimeter lens. Now, I don't normally use this with model shoots, but occasionally I need to get in tight. I might be in a little cave or sometimes in the slot canyons. I have to get close to the model, and so I'll use that for this. It's probably only 5% of the shots. I typically will use this 24-70 or the 70-200 for most of my shots, but occasionally I need this one. So I take it along as well. So that gives me a very broad range. I have 17 millimeter up to 200. Should cover all circumstances we might have. I have an intervalometer here. I use this one for the night shots primarily. I can do time lapse with it. I will also set it up so that I can have the camera go off on a timer. From this, I can then run around with lights and do light painting and with my strobe, highlight some of the rocks in the area, whatever, and not have to be near the shutter. So I intervalometer there. So for the night photography, I am also taking my flash. I don't normally take a flash on trips like this, but I am going to be using this. It's not going to be mounted on the camera. I'm going to have it in my hand, and as I said, I'm going to set the camera up on bulb mode, trigger it with the remote timer, and then I'm going to run around and flash various rocks with the strobe. In addition, I have these are called LumaCubes. They're rechargeable, small little lights. Very bright. You can adjust the brightness on them. And as I said, they're rechargeable, so I just charge them up at the end of each day. They're great. They're small. You can tuck them into really crevices, or I often will have a model hold it in her hand and just to highlight their face. Really, really cool little devices. I do have a backup camera here. This is a 5D Mark II. I don't typically take a backup camera for most shoots, but for this one, because I'm going to be out away from any big cities where I might be able, if something happens to my camera, I wouldn't be able to get another camera. So I'm taking the backup camera. If I'm in an urban environment where there's camera stores, I won't bother with it. I don't like the extra weight, and I'll just go rent a camera or buy one at a local store if I do have problems. Of course, I have my battery charger. You always need to have that. I have a headlamp. I always carry a flashlight or headlamp anytime I'm out in the desert, or anytime where I'm going to be doing some hiking. We're going to be shooting up until sunset. Coming back, sometimes you often need a light, so always carry that in my bag. Now, I also, in this trip, I'm taking my GoPro. This has a hot shoe mount on it, so I can mount this right on top of the camera, just like that. And then you can get a first-person view of what I'm shooting. So I will record video and do some behind-the-scenes videos using this GoPro mount. All right. Now, because I am out in the desert and state parks, national parks, often there isn't any cell coverage. So you can't call 911 if you have an emergency. So I carry this. This is a Spot GPS locator. This is an emergency beacon that you can use if you have problems. You push the SOS button here, and it uses satellites to beam your GPS coordinates to a command center, which I believe is in Colorado. They will call the local authorities, and they will come seek you out and find you. That may just be the park ranger coming out to find you, but they will also send a helicopter, whatever they need to get to you. So I always carry this with me whenever I'm more than 100 yards from my car. It just lives in the bag. So just good peace of mind. This is the Osmo by DJI. It's a stabilized video camera system. And I don't have it actually in this case. That's what I'm recording this with right now. But this is going to be in the bag. I'm going to be using it to do some behind-the-scene videos of the trip. And of course I have a spare battery for the Osmo as well as the charger for it. Now on this particular trip we're going to be shooting sunrise, sunsets, getting up at 5 or 6 a.m., back in bed probably after 11. And so I'm not going to be editing any photos while I'm on the road. So I'm not taking my laptop on this particular trip. So I do want to have backups of my data. This is called the Western Digital My Passport Wireless. And what I like about this is it has a small SD slot here on the side. I can plug my SD card out of my camera into it, and as soon as it goes in, it's going to copy all of the photos off of the SD card onto the hard drive. So that gives me a backup of my shoot for the day. I can do this out in the field. I typically do it each night at the end of the day. This is a great little device. I've been using this for about 1.5 years now. Speak very highly of it. It's a great, great device. In addition, it has Wi-Fi on it, and I do carry my iPad with me wherever I go. So instead of a laptop, I use my Wi-Fi to check my email and all that at night. I can connect my iPad to the Passport Wireless and actually browse through the photos. I can download them to the iPad, edit them, post them on social media and all that instead of using my laptop. So that's a great combination of my wireless with my iPad. I also have here these are colored lights, little pins. Little pin lights. That's a green one. I think I have there's white, blue, and red. These were fairly cheap on Amazon. They're small. I just throw them in the bag. So for doing light painting, great, great little tools. I have my MOO cards, my business cards, so that I can hand them out to the models. Just keep those in the bag as well. I have spare batteries, both for the GoPro and a charger for the GoPro, as well as for my Canon camera. And then finally up here, this holds all my compact flash cards and SD cards. So on this particular trip, I'm using both compact flash and SD cards in my 5D Mark III. And I'm having, when I take a photo, they get written to both cards. So that gives me 2 copies of the image, and then I can take the SD version, plug it into the Passport Wireless, and make a 3rd copy. So it's not necessarily as great as having the laptop and being able to maybe upload it to the cloud or something, but it's 3 copies I feel pretty safe with. Now finally, the bag that I'm using, this is called the Mindshift bag. And what I love about this bag, and the reason I'm taking it, is because it has a CamelBak system built right into it. It's a 3-liter CamelBak right on the side. We're going to be hiking anywhere from 2 or 3 miles up to 8 miles a day. I want to carry my water with me, and this bag is great for doing that. So, all right, so that's what's in the bag. I'll report back after the trip and tell you how everything went. A complete list of everything I've talked about here is listed with the video and on the blog post. So, thanks for watching.